Once again, I admit I was conducting a social experiment on you, and I succeeded because no one flat out called me out on what I was doing. And that was the whole point of the video, which you can watch the other video that I've mentioned that, where I basically said, you voted, here was the results. Because basically what I was doing, I was getting you to vote without realizing it, as far as whether you perceive me as a balding man or not. So as another little spin-off of that series, I'm looking at, so remember there was two versions. There was one called Fact, I'm not even balding, just look at me right now. And then the twin version of it was called Fact, I'm definitely going bald, just look at me right now. So check those both out if you haven't already. But in the version where I pretend that I'm perceiving that I am going bald, I received this comment, and it's very relevant, and we need to discuss this. So I received a comment from Abulab, I'm gonna go with that, or maybe it's Abulabi, either way. He has a Punisher symbol for his avatar. He says, quote, yeah, you're going bald, but you look good bald, and you can grow a good looking beard, so you got nothing to worry about, end quote. So this was my clever response. I said, I am 39. How old will I be before I am officially bald? Now this is a very relevant comment, but also a very relevant response that I gave him on my end. So let's imagine this. So Abulabi is saying, yes, you are going bald. Okay, and again, you get to decide that based on those videos I'm in. Let me do a little quick spin for you and determine if I'm going bald or not. But see, my point is this. My point is at some point, your age negates whether you're going bald or not. And I'm gonna try to cleverly put that in the title of the video because that's what this video is. Your age ultimately determines whether you are balding or not, okay? So let's just imagine this. Yes, I know I show some signs of mild balding. My hair on top is thinner. If you really look carefully at certain lights, you can see it's kind of thinner back here. And yes, my hairline does go up. Norwood 2.5 is what I say that I am. Okay, because ultimately I define balding as anything beyond Norwood 2. So, and yeah, if you have a hairline that's got a V shape, but it's got 90-degree angles and, you know, 3 triangles ultimately, 1, 2, 3, and your hair's not noticeably thinner on top or in the back or anything, then I'm saying you're not balding. I'm not saying you don't really even have a receding hairline as far as I'm concerned. I mean, ultimately, as far as anything is concerned, it's a full head of hair. It's not until you cross the line of Norwood 2 that I have, because I've got rounded off corners up here and I've got thinner on top, that I kind of cross that line a little bit. But here's the thing. As far as balding implies that we've got more to do here. We've got more hair to lose. And as you all know, I am very vocal about my 5 ways to determine or to predict if you're going to go bald. It has nothing to do with your father, your mother's father, your temples receding, hair in the shower, hair in the pillow. It has nothing to do with those things. Instead, you know, it's a matter of comparing yourself now to age 35. That tells you how many more years you have to figure out if you're going to be noticeably balding or not. And then it's a matter of also knowing if you could grow a full beard by the age of 18. It's a matter of looking at a photo of yourself when you're age 1, which is a projection of you at age 35. You know, it's a matter of your hair now, as far as your hair loss situation now, comparing to age 35. And then it's also whether or not you have a large amount of Native American or Asian DNA. If so, you're less likely to go bald. Whereas with the beard, you're more likely to go bald if you could grow a full connected beard by the age of age 18. And I mention this all the time. So my point is this, and let's think this through. Despite my hair situation, at some point, my age has to ultimately define this question of, am I balding? Now, yes, I have crossed that line of Norwood 2. I'm Norwood 2.5 because I've got rounded off corners up here. And my hair is thinner. And we can kind of see a little bit of a thinning bald spot in the back. But the point is, I'm 39. I'm 4 years beyond the age that determines whether you're going to be noticeably bald or not. Because if you're going to go bald, you're going to lose most of your hair before age 35. Okay, so going back to what I said in the comment, I'm 39 now. So, am I still balding, or are we waiting for me to go bald anytime soon? Are we really thinking that in the next couple of years I'm just noticeably going to go bald? No. It's not very likely. Anything's possible, but that's not likely. So let's imagine this. Let's fast forward 11 years to when I'm 50 years old. Okay? I would predict, if you're asking me what I'm going to look like at 50, the top might be a little bit thinner. We might have a more prominent bald spot here. But ultimately, I'm not expecting that still we're going to see a balding man. Now, let's fast forward even further to age 60. Imagine if I were 60 years old, 21 years from now, right? I'm bad at math. I have an English degree. I'm very good at communicating, but when it comes to math, 21 years from now, I'm 60 years old. And what if my hair was like this at age 60? What if nothing had really changed and I was 60 years old? Would you still say that I'm balding? If I haven't went bald by the age of 60, I've lived the majority of my life at that point. Right now, I've only lived half of my life, assuming I live to be the average age of the average American. So, and that's where it's interesting, because you're doing your most aggressive balding before the age of 35. So after 35, is it really balding? Now granted, there are cases like Johnny Cash, who was, I would say, in Norwood 2 his entire life up until his dying years. And I know many men like that. A full head of hair, Norwood 2 or better, and then by the time they get into their 70s and 80s, they just start thinning out. Gene Wilder would be an example. Willy Wonka. When he was Willy Wonka, he's probably around my age when he played Willy Wonka. And if you look at interviews of him a couple years before he passed away, you could see his scalp. He had hair up there, but it was very thin. But see, that's a whole different thing. If we're having to talk about all the way till someone's in their late 70s or 80s, ultimately what we're looking at is your adult life. For the majority of your adult life, are you going to be bald or balding? So there's my point. My point is, if you want to see that, yes, I'm balding, you have to attach the age to it, because I'm past the age of it mattering anymore. I agree that I could go bald overnight. I could go bald the next 5 years. I could go wake up bald on my 40th birthday in less than a year. It could happen. It's not very likely. And that's why it always comes back to the 5 ways to predict whether you're going to go bald, and knowing how important the age of 59, of 35 is. So we can say that I'm balding. But if I were 60, would you say that? If I were 70, would you say that? My point is, it doesn't matter, because I'm past the age of 35. Your comments belong.